Welcome to another episode of Morning Mobility with NATEFIT, where we spend 15 minutes every morning helping you build a daily movement habit. Today, we are going to focus on hips and spine. We're going to go through all the movements of the hip and practice those, and then all the movements of the spine. So we're going to start off in our lying hip car position. For this one, we're only going to do 2 reps. We've got a lot to cover in this class, and I want to make sure we stick it to 15 minutes. Here we go, starting with hip flexion, pulling the knee to the chest, opening up into abduction, rotating that ankle behind the knee, pressing back into extension, dropping down to midline, knees together, pressing back into extension, point the knee to the ceiling, externally rotate, pull the knee to the shoulder, return to midline, knees together, and again, pulling the knee to the chest, abduction, internal rotation, rotate that ankle behind the knee, pressing back into extension, return to midline, knees together, and reverse. Extension, abduction, point that knee to the shoulder, pull the knee to the shoulder, return to midline, knees together. We'll flip over to the other side. Hands clasped together. Here we go. Pulling the knee to the chest, pointing the knee to the ceiling, internally rotating, getting that ankle behind the knee or in line with the knee, pressing back into extension, return to midline, and reverse. Extension, abduction, external rotation, flexion, adduction, knees together. And one more time here. Flexion, abduction, internal rotation, extension, adduction, knees together, extension, abduction, external rotation, flexion, adduction, knees together. Okay, the first movement we're going to work on with the hip is extension. We're going to go into a lying position. From here, you can put your head sideways on your hands. We're going to bend the knee at 90 degrees. And this is all hip extension is just lifting the knee up. When you do this, I want it to come from the hip. So we are squeezing our glute, pulling our knee up. And that is it. We're going to do 6 reps each side. So lying down, here we go. 1, big squeeze in that glute. Drop down slow. Pulling up. 2. 3. Pause. Pause. One more time. Pause. And down. Good. We'll flip over to the other side. Bend the knee at 90 degrees. Pulling up. You'll find one leg is a little bit more difficult than the other. 2. 3. For some of you, you might feel a cramp in your hamstring. 4. 5. And one more. 6. Good. Now we're going to go into a seated position. We're going to work on hip flexion. This is going to be a fast-paced class because I want to make sure we get through all the movements. So for this, we'll have both legs out in front. One you can put out to the side. We'll focus on this one. We are going to lift up. Flexion is closing the joint angle. So we're going to lift up, pull out to the side, drop down. It's going to be done with a straight leg. Here we go. We're going to do 6 this way, 6 this way. Up, over, up, over. That's 1. Nice and controlled. It's 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. Right over to the other side. Out, down. 1, up, out, down, and return. It's 2, 3, up, out, down, 4, 5, and one more, 6. Next, we're going to go to internal rotation. This one's going to be very challenging for some people. You'll notice it's challenging for me as I won't get a lot of range of motion. 90-90 position, 90 degrees in the front leg, 90 degrees in the back leg. We're going to lean forward, and all we're going to do is lift that ankle up off the ground. That is internal rotation of the hip. I'm just rotating the femur in socket. We're going to do 6 lifts here. Up, pause, down. It's 1. For some of you, you might feel some cramping throughout this. 2, down. That's 3. Up, pause, down. That's 4. Up, pause, down. 5. Up, pause, down. And that's 6. We'll flip over to the other side. Again, 90 degrees in the front leg, 90 degrees in the back leg. Leaning forward. The less internal rotation you have, the more you're going to have to lean forward to get any movement. Okay, ready? Up, down, up, down, that's 2. Up, down, that's 3. Down, up, down, and last one, up and down. Excellent. We're going to stay in our 90-90 position, and we're going to do our external rotation lift-offs. So again, 90 degrees in the front, 90 degrees in the back, hands behind you. We've done this a lot in previous classes. We're going to lift up, high as you can, and down. We'll do 6 each side. Up, pull, pull, pull. You'll feel a pinch in that hip, and back down. This is 3, up, up, up. Placing it back down under tension. That's 4. Up, up, up. 5. I understand I'm going at a fast pace this class, so if you need to pause it, please do. And 6. Excellent. All of these exercises, pretty much all of them, you should be able to do while facing the camera. Or, sorry, the screen. Coming up. And placing down. It's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. One more. Coming up high as you can. And 6. Excellent. Next, we are going to go to abduction, which is away from midline. So back in our hip car position, this one we're going to do with a straight leg, which will just work. It'll make the lever longer, so it's going to work the lateral tissue in our hip a little harder. Leg is going to be straight. Make sure there is at least a straight line in here. I would prefer it if you'd go into a little bit of extension. So just bringing your leg back a little bit. Leg is straight, and all we're going to do is lift up and come down. You're gonna wanna pull your leg in front. Keep that angle open. Don't close that hip angle. Here we go. 1, 6 reps. 2, some of you might be on the verge of cramping. Again, that lets you know that tissue needs some work. This is 4, 5, and one more, big squeeze. 6. Flipping over to the other side. Again, straight leg, pulling it back into extension, and straight up. 1, up, 2, up, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. Next, we're just going to come into this position. We did this position in one of our last classes. Actually, we're going to come down on our elbow. So, top leg out in front, on our elbow. Bottom leg is straight, and all we're going to do is lift up. There's not going to be a lot of movement here. This is adduction, adduction. So, in this position, lift up and down. That's all it is. Up. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, one more, and 6. Again, with this one, we're just working the inner thighs. Coming over to the other side. Straight leg, lift up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more, 6. Excellent. Next, we're going to move to the spine. We're going to start off by doing 2 thoracic spine cars. So in your kneeling position or seated, again, if this is uncomfortable on your ankles, put something underneath your hips. Hands on the shoulders. And here we go, starting with flexion, tucking the rib cage down, rotating, dropping that shoulder down into lateral flexion, extend up, rotating to the other side, coming down into lateral flexion and back around in front, back to neutral. Coming back to flexion, tucking the rib cage down, rotate those shoulders, drop the shoulder down, flare that rib cage up, rotate to the other side, dropping the shoulder down, back around in front, and 2 in the other direction. Flexion, rotation, lateral flexion, extension, rotation, lateral flexion, back around in front, back to neutral. One more time here. Tucking the rib cage down, turning the shoulders, drop the shoulder down, flare that rib cage up, rotate to the other side, dropping the shoulder down to the side, back around in front. Okay, we're going to work on our lateral flexions first. We're going to do this from this position, and all we're going to do is tuck down to the side. We did this in one of our previous classes a couple classes ago. So hands on the shoulders, tucking the rib cage in and pushing this side out. That's 1, 6 aside. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Other side. 1. The reason why this class is focused on separating all the movements is I want you to understand each movement of the joints. I know we hit them in our cars, but by separating them into reps of each movement, it will help you learn what those movements specifically are. Good, and we have one more. Excellent. Okay, we're going to go to flexion and extension next. We're going to do this standing for our flexion. Again, we did this in a class just a couple classes ago. We're going to just do standing flexions. So we're just going to drop down. You're going to start off by tucking the chin. So we'll do 6 reps here, and then we're going to do 6 extensions right after. Okay, here we go. Tuck the chin, tuck the ribs, peeling down. Go till you feel a stretch. And then we come back up. That's 1. And up. 2. I'm going to try not to talk because my face is right in the mic. coming down, 3, down, 4, feel yourself get further every time, 2 more, 5, 1 more, coming down, and 6. Okay, next, we're gonna go to standing extensions. We're gonna have our hands out to the side, and all we're gonna do is lead with the chin, and look back. Go to where you feel comfortable. We're not gonna hold it for very long. It's gonna be tough for me to talk when I come back. So I'll try to just give you a sign that I'm coming back forward if you're not looking at the or at the screen. So hands at your side, lead with the chin coming back. Good, that's 1. Lead with the chin coming back. Forward, 2. Again, back. Forward, that's 3. Back. Forward, it's 4. Forward, it's 5. Going back. And forward, that's 6. And we're gonna finish with rotation on our knees. Again, the seated position, whether you're on a chair or you're sitting down on the ground. Hands on the shoulders. And we're just gonna rotate as far as we can, pulling this elbow as far as you can over. Here we go. 1, back to neutral. Same side. 2, 3. Coming back, pull that elbow, look over. 4. Looking over far as you can. 5. Really helps if you try to look behind you because the head guides the spine. And 6. 6 in the other direction now. Pull, pull, pull. 1. Again. 3. Looking behind you. 4. 5. And last one. 6. Excellent. And that was a very fast pace episode of Morning Mobility with NATEFIT. I wanted to make sure we got through all of the movements. Thank you for joining. Again, if you like the class, give it a thumbs up. I'm going to start adding extended classes. We'll still have our regular 15-minute classes, but every once in a while, I'm going to release an extended half-hour to 45-minute class just so you can learn a few more things and it doesn't feel as rushed. Again, thank you for joining. Please like it, please comment, and I will see you tomorrow morning.